Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Thunderstruck podcast with Tori. I am your host, Tori Ancona. This is episode 11, where I cover all things Los Angeles Chargers related. And this week, man, this is going to be interesting. Can't believe I'm going to say this, but I am losing sleep over the fact that we have to play the Miami Dolphins. Now, if you're not familiar with the Chargers and where they're currently at, you might be wondering, Tori, why in the heli would you be sweating over a team that is 1-4, a team that just gave up over 200 rushing yards to the Carolina Panthers? Why do you think you're losing sleep? Well, number one, when Joe Alt went down in week 3, I had a knot in my stomach, knowing the fact that the offensive tackle depth isn't really good for the Chargers. Now, I think Salyer is a good option, to fill in for Joe Alt. But now, Trey Pipkins, the backup right tackle, he's not playing this game. Jamari Salyer missed 2 practices this week. He's questionable, but I have the expectation, knowing how this trend has been going, that he's not going to play tomorrow. So what does that mean? Austin Deculus, who's been underperforming extremely in the last few weeks, he will be starting at left tackle. Now you're going to be like, who's going to fill in at right tackle then? His name is Bobby Hart, right? Bobby Hart. He hasn't played since 2022, and his name is Bobby Hart. More like Bobby gonna give me a heart attack. I love to try to be optimistic, truly, when it comes to the Chargers. And it takes an effort to see how much time this man has to throw every single Sunday because of the offensive line injuries. But now I'm just gonna say how it is. The Chargers protection plan hasn't been working when Joe Alt is not on the field. Now, to be a little bit more optimistic, kind of contradicting what I just said, although Joe Alt is not playing this week, he was spotted with no walking boot, which is interesting that maybe he's going to return next week against the Colts, which would be so huge. Or maybe he comes and performs against the Minnesota Vikings the week after. So either way, I think the Joe Alt return might be sooner than we think, but we'll see about that in the near future. I am so nervous, not only to lose this game, but the health of a guy who is the most valuable player on the team. I truly think Trey Lance is a really good backup, but if we want to be competitive at all this year, he needs to be the starting quarterback. I don't even need to mention his name. You know who I'm talking about. He's right there if you want to know who I'm talking about. He's right there. He's right behind me. But he needs to find time. He needs to have an extra second to throw. Now, on the positive side, we're playing one of the worst defensive lines in all of football. So what do I want the Chargers to do this week against the Dolphins? Run the ball. Wait, Amarian Hampton's hurt. He's going to be missing the next 4 games. And Najee Harris is out for the year. So where do we go from here? Well, we have Hassan Haskins, who is familiar with the Jim Harbaugh scheme because of him being a Michigan Wolverine when Jim Harbaugh. Well, Hassan Haskins, who's familiar with the Jim Harbaugh scheme because he was one of his running backs when Jim was the head coach of Michigan. Kamani Vidal, I really think, will be the biggest playmaker when it comes to the running back position tomorrow. He has experience in the preseason. He had a few flashy plays last year, but I don't really think he's been getting enough touches to really show the potential that he can bring to the table. He is one of the best, if not the best, running back in the University of Troy's history. So that's interesting. And he can be effective on the receiving game, but I really want to see him in those situations. I'm hesitant to put him in the goal line scheme, but I really think that we're on our own 20. It's 2nd down and 6. Give him the ball and see what happens. And I really think that the offensive line will perform better if we are doing what we did last year and really heavily focusing on the run. Then we can throw in a play action where, Herbo will do his thing. But I know in the last few weeks, even the weeks that we did win, I've been heavily focusing on the offense, right? But for this game, there's a reason why I'm wearing this jersey right now. Now, all the casuals are going to be like, who the hell is 33? Well, This was Derwin James' number before he changed it to 3. Do I have the number 3 jersey? Not yet, but I'm wearing the Derwin James, right? I'm wearing the Derwin James jersey. I bought this jersey the second he got his first career interception in this uniform against the Los Angeles Rams in the Coliseum against Jared Goff in his rookie year. He got his first career interception. So that's when I got it, which was 2018. It's very tight, but I'm wearing this because we will win this game if our defense is not just pressuring Tua Tagovailoa, not just forcing incompletions, not just forcing 3-and-outs. We need to force turnovers. The Chargers have only forced a turnover in one game this year, and that was against the Las Vegas Raiders, where they forced 3 turnovers that game. But that's it. Has there been some plays where we get a clutch deflection to send them punting? Absolutely. Has there been some times where we got some sacks and tackle for loss? Yes, at times. We have not seen the Chargers force a turnover since week 2 of this year. That needs to change. That is the name of the game. You clearly see how much it actually impacts the game, because in the Giants game, that was why they won. It wasn't because Jackson Dart was lighting up the field. He played all right, but his defense forced turnovers. Not only that, they returned it to the 5-yard line for both interception returns, right? The Chargers were up 10-0 against the Commanders with a horrible O-line, right? But then you have the miss helmet-to-helmet hit where it makes Johnston fumble, and that can just change. Just because the offense gets punched in the face with a turnover, we need to be that defense again. We need to be that aggressive defense. Now, Khalil Mack is not going to play this week, but Odafe Oweh is. I really want to see some packages where Henley, Odafe, and Thule rush all at once on the same side. Maybe even throw in Derwin James in there as well. But I think the difference maker in this game for the Chargers to win is going to be not just the running backs filling in the holes for Marion Hampton and Najee Harris. It's going to be this defense. They need to force, I think, 2 turnovers to really secure momentum. Strip sack. Jesse Minter needs to be on his A game this game, especially. And we need to walk out of Miami with a 4-2 record. If we want to have any success, truly. Chargers are starting their 4th and their 6th string tackle, likely. I am extremely nervous. However, Will Dissly looks like he's scheduled to play, so maybe that will help. Tucker Fisk scheduled to play, I believe, as well. I would like to see him help Chip many times and help the tackles as much as he can. For me personally, I would prefer putting Foster Sarell over Bobby Hart, because Foster Sarell did fill in for right tackle in, I believe, 2022, 2023. I think it was 2022, but he played against Nick Bosa, and he played decent enough for the Chargers to go down the field a few times. So I would have went with that. They feel confident with Bobby Hart. They said in practice he looks good. Yay. But again, we'll see if Bobby Hart sends me in a heart attack. Contain. Just keep him upright. I've been preaching this for the last 2 weeks. Keep him upright. I'm trying not to curse, but keep him upright, dadgummit, as Philip Rivers would say. What I expect is, yet again, the Chargers relying on the run game a little bit more, maybe even putting some options where Herbert actually runs with the football. That would be a really cool goal line package. Nice read option. Haven't really ran that a lot this year. And just surprise them and Herbert runs it in for a touchdown. That would be really effective as well. When it comes to 3rd down and 1s, just quarterback sneak or just run the ball. Do not go in shotgun and try to throw the ball. Greg Roman, I swear to God, if we're on the 1-yard line to score a touchdown and I see you do a pass play, I am going to flipping lose it. Knock it off. Run the ball. He is 6'6", 235 pounds or whatever. Run it. You can run it 4 times and not get it, and I wouldn't even be mad, right? But if you do the shotgun package where you're just going to be right there and there's going to be a false start or backed up, then you have to throw it. Like, just run the ball if you're ever in that position. You throw the ball when it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and long, maybe even 3rd and 4. I wouldn't be mad if you ran the ball on 3rd and 3. And if you were to pass, it's got to be quick routes. You have experience with that. Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey, these are route runners that can separate themselves in that short amount of time that Herbert's going to be upright. Herbert is not going to have the best protection. He might have the worst protection that he's faced all season long, which is insane because we're already at week 6 and Justin Herbert has been pressured 80 times. 8-0. And Josh Allen last year for the whole season was pressured that amount. The fact that Herbert has walked away, not injured, is a blessing, but scary to the point where if he takes more hits like this, he might be sidelined, which is not what we want to see. I was contemplating even mentioning if he gets hit like twice and he has the slightest limp, pull the plug, put Trey Lance in. I know that sounds crazy, but we can't. We had not only a 3-0 start, but we are 3-0 in the division. I have never seen that from my team, ever. And I've been a fan since 2013, right? And you're telling me right after we have that amazing start, we're going to be 3-3 and Justin Herbert gets injured? You cannot have that. It will bother Herbert to death that he won't be performing, but we got to prioritize his health, right? Or if he gets hit a bunch, make adjustments, put a different tackle in, put Foster Sorrell. They elevated David Sharp as well. I'm hoping Jamari Salyer can just pull through and play tomorrow. But if not, Bobby Hart, man. Bobby Hart. Jesus. Bobby Hart, don't be a fart, okay? I'm being so serious. But the name of the game is that the Chargers will win this game if they take advantage on defense and get those turnovers against Tua, which Tua has thrown a lot of picks this year, which is nice to see. But they still have weapons. They have Jalen Waddle. They have Darren Waller that looks like he's at his peak all of a sudden. And they have Devon Achane. Those are playmakers, right? But blitz packages, attack. When it comes to the defensive side of the ball, the Chargers need to attack. When it comes to the offensive side of the ball, just protect Herbert, man. And you see it. Like, second he has 3 seconds or more, he's completing a pass. He's throwing a touchdown, right? But when he gets pressured and then there's a tip ball, he's trying to throw away, he's trying to make a play, more mistakes and more mistakes and more mistakes happen. You got to protect Herbert. Will Dissly being a part of this game is really big, despite the fact that we haven't really gotten a lot of tight end chips and tight end help when it comes to the pass protection and the run blocking. But yeah, I'm expecting heavy touches for Hassan Haskins, Kamani Vidal, also Nakeem Miller-Hines, who hasn't played a regular season game in 3 years. However, he did look pretty decent in this Jim Harbaugh scheme in the preseason. So he's a veteran. He might have some juice to make some plays as well. Yeah, man, I have no predictions. I'm not even going to talk about score predictions. All I can say is that we will win this game if the Chargers force not only one turnover, but multiple turnovers, like a pick or a strip sack, or maybe 2 picks, whatever. We need to have more than one turnover. I know that's a big ask, but that is the key. You need to force turnovers when you're a defense that has an offense that are so damaged and beaten up when it comes to injuries, right? It would be thrilling if we even get a defensive touchdown. That would be something. Just like that Falcons game last year. Chargers didn't have an offensive touchdown. Did we win though? Yeah, because Tar Heap still pick 6, boom. Then the rest were field goals, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. That needs to happen. We need explosive plays on defense to force turnovers against Tua. We need to sack Tua a bunch. Can we do that? I think so. Odafe Owe, we'll see how he does in his Chargers debut. Denzel Perryman might come back this week. That's really big. Deshaun Hand went to IR. Yet another Chargers player went to IR. So we'll probably see more from Naquan Jones, Justin Mbogbe, who looked pretty decent. Probably the best I've ever seen him. It looked massively improved from his rookie season. And I want to see somebody else make a play. Maybe this will be the time where Kyle Kennard steps up. Caleb Murphy steps up. Bud Dupree, who hasn't been getting any pressures, with the amount of snaps that he's had. Maybe he'll step up with because of the Odafe Owe trade. Maybe the focus will be on him and he will take advantage. Take advantage, man. We need to win this game. We need to walk out of this game with the win. And just like that, I'm going to wrap up the episode. And just to let y'all know, I'm not giving up on this team. You see it. I'm not giving up. No matter what happens, I will still hop on here, talk about it with y'all. Still a long season, but man, we need this win. We'll see what happens. All we can do is just sit and have high blood pressure. That's the only thing that the Charger fans can do. No matter how many Twitter rants, TikTok videos, YouTube predictions, YouTube previews, live streams, even Daniel Popper questions, all we can do is just sit and see what happens. And I encourage you guys to realize that Jim Harbaugh, whenever it looks like it's over for him, many times in his career, he's flipped the switch many times. There was a point last year where I didn't think we were going to make the playoffs. He proved me wrong. There was a point where I never thought he would ever be a national champion in the University of Michigan, and he proved me wrong. I can't see why that this man who's overcame so much adversity, that he will do it again. Does it hurt with how many injuries we have? Absolutely. But he's a winning coach for a reason. So we'll see that in full display tomorrow at 10 a.m. Chargers versus Dolphins. The next episode, I will talk about the recap, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Don't forget, bolt gang or don't bang. Have a great rest of your day. Let's go Chargers. Let's get this win. How about that? All right. Peace.